Where do we start? We start maybe with a fella named Odom Harishon, right? Because he ate from the Eitz Hadas, right? So the Gemara says, the end of Chulin, Haman min haTorah minayin. How do we know about Haman? The Gemara answers, Hamin ha'etz, from the tree. So all that we have with Purim, with Amalek, with Yetzer Tov, with Yetzer Hara, it all goes back to the very first hour that Odom Harishon was walking around. You remember that he actually lasted less than an hour. Right? The Gemara says at 9 o'clock in the afternoon, the 9th hour of the day, he picked themselves up and they started walking around Gan Eden, but he ended at the Basiris Sorach. In the 8th and 10th hour, he already blew it. Right? So, what's going on here? Let's go back a little bit and try and figure out what this whole world was all about. And the Arizal explains that everything is about free choice. Everything is free choice. You have to choose right or wrong, but you have to make a decision. And this goes on not only every day, but basically throughout your working day or your learning day or whatever it is you're doing. You're also finding the problem of free choice. You have to make decisions all the time, right? That is what the world was created for. Make your choice, stick with it, and choose, basically, as the Pasuk says, Ubacharta b'chayev. Choose life. You have life and death before you, at the end of Parshas Nitzavim, right? Choose life. Okay? So, the question comes up, how could Odom Harishon choose to eat from the Eitz Hadas? How could he? How was it possible? He was Yitzir Kapoy Shel HaKodesh Baruch Hu. He was the handicraft of Hashem. And there was no Achilas Eitz Hadas before he ate from the Eitz Hadas. So he was pure, absolutely pure. Where does it come that he should choose to do something wrong? Where does it come? And the answer is that Rabbi Nachman teaches that every person has a koyach habchira. But what do you do with someone like Moshe Rabbeinu? And do you really think if there's good or evil, he would have a choice? Moshe Rabbeinu would be presented with something that's wrong, and he would think maybe that's what I should do? It's not possible. You wouldn't think it out of Moshe Feinstein, who was 3,000 years later. You think Moshe Rabbeinu? The Gemara says, Baruch Shabbos, that when it came to giving the Torah, Moshe hoisif yomechad midaitoi. Moshe ate it one day, right? That's what the Gemara says. Another choice that Moshe Rabbeinu did was that the whole world was created for the Torah, right? Yom HaShishi, for the 6th day of Sivan. And yet when Moshe Rabbeinu came down from the mountain, the whole world was created. The Gemara says that the earth was not stable until the Torah was given. So Moshe Rabbeinu comes down from heaven, he brings down the 2 luchos, and he breaks them. The whole world was waiting for this day, and he breaks it. What's he break? But the Gemara says, Rashi brings it at the end of Chumash, right? Le'enei kol Yisrael, that he broke the luchos. And Hashem said, Yashakoyach, thank you. There was a quality in Moshe Rabbeinu that said, I am choosing to live my life in sync with Hashem. That was the choice. This is where Rabbi Nachman explains it. There's a certain thing, we always have a question, choose right or wrong, choose good or evil, choose. we have to learn to think, to be in sync with Hashem. Right? Adam Rishon was not. Adam Rishon, said, Chava said it, but it was him. Right? You don't eat from the tree, you don't even touch it. You added something extra. You're not in sync. Hashem said, don't eat it. Finish. What are you looking for? Chumras. What are you looking for? Something extra. There's a power of sync, being in sync with Hashem, that every person has to have. And it's really this week's parsha. Vayikra Moshe, Vayedaber Hashem Elav. Who called to Moshe? It doesn't say. Svarim talk about it. It was like a hidden call. And every person has that call. What's right? What's wrong? What should I do? What should I not do? Every person has the call to come recognize Hashem, to come find Hashem, to come see Hashem in his life. If you listen to the call, then Vayedaber Hashem Elav. Then Hashem will speak. You'll openly feel and see and experience Hashem in your life. If you don't do it, it's not going to work out that way. So that's as a beginning. That's where we begin to understand the story of Purim. And the Gemara says, Haman, right, it was Amalek. He's the epitome of Amalek, whatever they want to do. So the Gemara says, Shol Talmid Ovis Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, his Talmidim asked him, he said, why were the Jews punished so in the time of Haman, Mordechai? Right? And he answered, well, they served idols during the time of Nebuchadnezzar, Shtachvu L'Tzelem, and also, Nenu Misudoso Shalosu Rosham. They partook of Achashverosh's meal. These are two very varied ideas. One is idolatry, and one is lust or indulgence, what the human being always does. So, what comes out from the story of Purim is that everything, it's choice. It's like the Eitz Hadas, right? I don't have to. Am I in sync with Hashem? Then I wouldn't bow down to the idol. But they did. And then when Haman came along, he made himself idolatry. Everyone had to bow down to him. Mordechai was like Moshe. The Medrash says that there are three redeemers, right? Moshe Rabbeinu said, Gam mitmoil, gam yishoshoim, gam meyozavdecha. What's the gam? Gimel mem. There's Goyel Moshe, Goyel Mordechai, and Goyel Moshiach. It's a Medrash in Noach. I believe it's in Noach. So you have Mordechai compared to Moshe Rabbeinu in a sense that he would choose to be in sync with Hashem. The problem with Mordechai's sync was that he jeopardized the entire Jewish nation, right? What are you doing? You're not bowing down, right? The Rosh, Haman said, let me see what's going on with this guy. And here's where we come to a very contemporary idea. You're going to hurt the Jews. You're going to hurt the Jewish nation. It's not good for the Jews. It's good for the Jews. It's not good. It's something where the Torah says something, and what the Torah is meaning is that we have to now learn to think, what does Hashem want of us? I know what I want. I wake up in the morning, I do whatever it is I do, or do I want to get out of bed, do I not, whatever the case is. I saw a beautiful prayer once, and there was a magnet in someone's refrigerator. Hashem, I really want to thank you for my day. It's going great. Everything is good, everything is beautiful. I don't feel stressed now, I don't feel any pressures. Everything is working out fine. But in one more minute, I'm going to get out of bed. What do I do then? All right? It's a beautiful statement. It's a beautiful idea. The idea is to take the thanks to Hashem and to really generate it so that it becomes part of us. It's like a generator that turns on, it provides me with all the energy I need. That's the thanks to Hashem. But I can't do that if I don't follow up with my crying and screaming and asking Hashem what it's all about. Mordechai Yodas Kol Shanasa. Mordechai knew everything that was happening. Right? So what did he do? Vayizak Zok Gdoilo Amora, put on a sock. Mordechai knew that the only Eitzah that we have, is it good for the Jews? Is not? Is it going to work out? What are we doing? The only Eitzah we really have is Tefillah. The power of Tefillah, the power to call out to Hashem at any and every given moment. That's the power that we have. Any other power, right, to be involved with this person, with this political party, with this political thing, with this influence and whatnot, it doesn't really work. It doesn't, right? To be in sync with Hashem means to take our daily lives and project it so that I am now attached to Hashem. I'm now in sync with Hashem. That's the idea of Purim. Purim is one of those days which is like an anomaly in Jewish life, right? I mean, the story is told, I think it was the Maharal Prague, they asked him, how come on the Seder night you take out all the silver, right? Shulchan Aruch says, come to the Seder night, take out all the silver, right? Show everything that you have and whatnot. He says, how do you do it? I mean, you're in exile. He says, that's the idea behind it. We should know that we're in exile and that even then we can still have all the beauty and all the wonders that Hashem is giving us. We can have it. So whatever the story is when it comes to Purim, we look at it, I mean, what kind of day is this? Right? Okay, we read a Megillah that happened 2,500 years ago, and we drink, and we give presents, right? Everyone is busy. In the first part of Purim in the morning is you sit and pack Shalach Manos, and you got to send it out to, right? Is that what Chazal wanted from us? We have to go sit around and pack Shalach Manos, right? Shulchan Aruch says that if you have a choice of tzedakah and Shalach Manos, it's better to give more tzedakah than Shalach Manos. But okay, but we send the first one, and then the second half part of the day we sit and we drink and we get drunk. This is the way we celebrate, like a Seder night. We get drunk, and what is going on there? No, the Arizal explains that Purim, the power of Mordechai, was that he's drawn, his neshama was at a certain level as great as Moshe Rabbeinu, almost as great as that. There is a koyach of a tzaddik who is there to help Klal Yisrael learn to direct what we do. That Moshe chose to add a day, or Moshe chose to break the... I mean, this is not what the Torah was all about. Torah is about the tzaddik, or the tzaddikim, the leaders of the generation, telling us and teaching us how that we're all individuals and we all have to learn to live a different life. We're not clones. We have to be able to take ourselves and turn ourselves into a machine, not a machine chas v'sholem, but a human being, kind of a machine, that absorbs Hashem and takes Hashem and brings him, internalizes him into your life. So comes Purim, and the first thing we start off with is the Mikra Megillah, Megillah Esther. Right? The word Megillah is from the word the galot, to reveal. It's the same root. Esther is from the word hastorah, hidden. Right? The idea of Megillah Esther, to read it, is to reveal the Hashem that I have to try and be in sync with. That's the idea behind the Megillah. Right? Because in the Megillah, you will not find Hashem's name. you will not find any mention. There's a couple of Rashi Tevis, Safi Tevis in the Megillah. But for all practical purposes, right, you don't find Hashem in the Megillah. Why is that? Because we all live our lives. Every one of us has a different way of looking at life. And the way we look at it, the way we see it, is very different from our friend. But we could all be in sync with Hashem. The beauty of Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, that Hashem is one, right? Every one of us has a different image of Hashem. Every one of us. There's 7 billion people on the planet. Everyone says God, or except for the atheists, but they also say God, right? And everyone, God, Hashem, Allah, whatever you want to call it. And in the end result, everyone has a different image of Hashem. But He's only one. So we have to learn to take Hashem, who's within reach, right? Vayikra El Moshe, we always get a feeling Hashem is there somehow, somewhere in my life, I don't know. But if I look for Him, and I try and be in sync with Him, so then I have Vayadaber Hashem Elav. Then Hashem speaks to him, Hashem calls out to him, Hashem will bring him forth. He'll become part of his life, part of his body. So the first thing in Purim is the Mikra Megillah. Be able to read the Megillah, and as the Rebbe Rabbi of Mezhevich said, he's a Heidikel from the Baal Shem Tov, Rabbi Nachman's uncle, but he said there's a Mishnah in Megillah, Hakari es ha-Megillah l'mafreya lo yotza. Anyone who reads the Megillah not in order, he doesn't fulfill the mitzvah. Baruch said, teaches that if you read the Megillah as a story that happened 2,500 years ago, then you're not fulfilling the mitzvah of Purim. You have to realize that same story. Vashti was killed, Esther was chosen, right? She rose to the highest, Mordechai was placed in the king's. All of this is derech hateva. It happens. All of this is not derech hateva. It's not nature. It's not natural. It's all the hashgacha of Hashem. So the story of the Megillah to uncover and reveal the Hastorah that Hashem is hidden from me. I mean, I don't see Him, right? There are times I do connect with Him. There are times I daven, somehow I feel Hashem. Sometimes I learn, oh, this is amazing Hashem. Sometimes we do a mitzvah, but for the most part, Hashem is hidden, right? The mitzvah of Purim is to tell us you can't find Hashem, right? There is a derech hateva. I get up in the morning, I do my business, I daven, I learn, whatever it may be, right? There is a connection made to Hashem in whatever it is that I'm touching. I can make that connection. I can become in sync with Hashem. I can experience Him. It may not be the whole day. It may be only a few moments of the day. But it can happen. And once you start thanking Hashem for what we do have, as we mentioned earlier, then you find that your heart opens up and you can scream out more. So Mordechai, right, took the miracle of Esther, right? Here she is, a Jewish girl, taken into the king's palace, whatever. What was that, Monica Lewinsky? Was that her name? Whatever. Does anyone remember that far back, right? But the Jewish girl taken into the king's palace, and here he's stuck, and here she's stuck, and Mordechai didn't do that. Mordechai, every single day, said, "V'chol yom v'yom," every single day, right? Mordechai mishalech b'fnei chatzah beis hanoshim. Mordechai is walking before the woman's house, wherever the women were housed. Lodas es shloim Esther. What's going on with this hiddenness? What's hidden from me? What don't I see? Rashi explains there, Mordechai was one of two tzaddikim that had a hint from heaven, and he looked after it. David HaMelech was one. He had a fight with the lion and the bear for the sheep. When he went to King Shaul, he said to him, I can fight Goliath. You're a young kid. What do you mean? Right? He said, no, I had this fight with the lion. I had this fight with the bear. Right? I could take care of it. I won because Hashem was with me. I'll win with Goliath, which he did with Goliath. Mordechai was the second one, tzaddik. He saw Esther was taken to the king. We're in trouble. A Jewish girl gets succumbed by what's around her. I mean, all of us we succumb. All of us we're enticed. All of us have different leanings to whatever it may be. That's all of us, right? We're all called before the Goyish king, before the natural order, right? And Mordechai looked into it every single day. Every single day. It took a few years, the Gemara says, from the time Esther was taken until she was finally, until finally the miracle of Purim took place. So a few years, Mordechai every single day. And that's the lesson for us, for the sink. You have to know that Hashem is there. There's a reason why this is happening to me. There's this reason I have to take care of it. So this is the story of Purim till now. And then we read the Megillah. And of course, we know Esther invited Haman to the meal, whatever, and that caused his downfall. And he thought, here I am on top of the world. Right? You have people like that today. You have, in Israel, we have a prime minister, but there's people who are trying to bring him down every day. You have a president here in the country. Every day they're trying to bring him down. Right? It doesn't matter who, it doesn't matter what, they got to bring him down. The goal is to bring him down. It doesn't matter what he's done, what he's not done, it doesn't matter. What matters is that the evil is trying to take whatever is happening and make it worse. That's all. So Haman thought he was on top of the world. Here he is, invited to the king's Achashverosh with Esther just then. And that was his downfall. And that's the way it worked. Rabbi Nachman explains in one of his lessons that every person has a power of malchus. Malchus means authority or control. Right? You're an authority. You can control. Every person has that level. To understand what Malchus is, the first thing we can say is, Kriya Shema is the acceptance of Oil Malchus Shemayim. I accept the yoke of heaven. Malchus means we get married, we have a house, we control the house, we have teenagers, We have all the different things that we attempt to control in our lives, our business, whatever it may be. Every person has a measure of malchus. But the power of that malchus cannot come out unless you're a free agent. Unless you could feel yourself in charge. Are you in charge? Or is there somebody giving you opposition? Is there somebody who's frustrating you, who's challenging you, and whatnot? Mordechai is the epitome of someone who's in charge, right? The Gemara, same Gemara that talks about Haman, where he's come from. Mordechai min Torah minayin. How do you know Mordechai? Right? The pasuk says, "Kach lecho besomim roish." Take the first besomim, right? Mor deror. It says mor deror. It's a free type of growing mir, a type of spice, right? The Targum says mori dachya. Mor deror is mori dachya, a pure spice, and the words mori dachya make up the name Mordechai. And that's how we know Mordechai is alluded to in the Torah. He's pure. His spice, he's in sync with Hashem. He knows what he wants to do, right? Esther, how do we know Esther in the Torah? V'anochi haster astir ponai michem. I will hide my face. Esther represents the hiddenness. She represents the fact that we can't really find Hashem. We have difficulty, right? But Mordechai is there. So now the pasuk says, we mentioned it earlier, V'chol yom v'yom, every single day, Mordechai misalech lifnei chatzar beis hanoshim. Mordechai walked in front, he presented himself, he's there, he's teaching, he's calling out to Klal Yisrael to see what's happening with Esther. How do we know this? Lifnei chatzar beis. Chatzar is a courtyard, outside, and beis is an internal, it's a house. Alright? Mordechai was out there. What goes on in the courtyard is not what goes on in the house. What goes on in the house is not what goes on. What we do in the street, what we do in our homes are sometimes very different. Right? Mordechai was looking at every single person and every single idea. What's happening here? Beis Hanoshim, right? Where the women were. What is the word Hanoshim? If you know your Chumash, right? You know in Parshas Vayishlach, Yaakov Avinu battled with the angel. Okay? And the angel kicked him on the foot, on the leg. He hit his sciatica nerve, which is called the Gid Hanosha. What's the Gid Hanosha? Right? Rashi explains three different ideas. He brings three different concepts. One, Nosha Gvurosam, it's like their strength was sapped. One is Ki Nashani Elikim is Kol Amili, Hashem made me forget everything. Right? And what's the third one? Right? We come to a senior moment. Whenever you have three things, you always remember two out of the three. Nosha Gvurosam, right? Nashani Elikim, and
dislodged, moved. It was moved.
It was dislodged. Thank you. It was pushed away from its place. Rabbi Nachman explains this is Klal Yisrael. This is the way the Jews appear. Right? We have one that is Nashani Elikim, I forgot about Hashem. There's dislodged, Kinosha V'kovtza Mimkoimoi. It fell out of its place. Right? I'm not exactly settled. I'm not exactly where I want to be. Right? And the third one, you see again, I forgot, right? Nashani Elikim. Their strength was sapped. They still remember Hashem, but their strength is sapped, and they don't throw themselves into coming and recognizing Hashem. That they don't do. So Mordechai, the tzaddik, and all the tzaddikim of all the generations, is looking in on every single Jew individually to try and introduce them to Hashem, wherever he could be found, in my heart, in my mind, in the indulgences that I have in my body, which is what caused Klal Yisrael to fall under the sway of Haman. They indulged. They had the meal of Achashverosh. So what we have is, we have a tzaddik who's always Lodas es shloim Esther, to know what is happening with your hiddenness. Why is it hidden? Why can't I find Hashem? So Rabbi Nachman always teaches that the most powerful advice that he can give you is hispoidedus. Hispoidedus comes from the word bodod, alone. Right? It means take yourself, make yourself alone. Private room, private place, and pour out your heart before Hashem. Thank Hashem for all the good that you have, and then scream out to Him, which the Mishnah in Bracha says. Tefillah is Haidah ala Ava, V'tzayka lahaba. It's thanks for the past, and it's calling out, screaming out to Hashem. take whatever is in your heart, take whatever is on your mind, and speak to Hashem. Thank you for this, thank you for that. Hashem, I'm hurting, I'm frustrated, I'm challenged. What do I do in this case? Where am I supposed to go? What's my next step? What should I do? If we do that, then we become like Mordechai. Mordechai taught us, Vayizak za'oka gedola. And then La Yehudim hoysa oila v'simcha. Right? There's the joy, there's the happiness, there's the screaming, there's the yelling. This is the idea of the Megillah. There's 3 other mitzvahs on Purim. One of them is Sholach Monos. You have to send presents, right? I doubt very much that Chazal had in mind that we'd buy all that junk food and package it and spend a few hours Purim morning just to send out, oh, I forgot this guy, I forgot that guy. You know, I don't think that's what they really meant. But the Svarim bring, Rabbi Breslov speaks about it a lot. It should be really called Mishloach Matonos. You're sending a gift. Right? What's Mishloach Monos? And the Svarim explained that it's from the word man. Man is manna. Manna that fell every day from heaven. The greatness of Purim, the fact that you're going to recognize that Hashem is there, you've revealed the hiddenness of Purim, right? You're now Megala, you now have a connection to Hashem, or as the Gemara says, called a Poshet Yod Noistim. Anyone who sticks out his hand to ask for tzedakah on Purim, you give. You don't ask questions, right? So I heard a pshat from a Yid in Yerushalayim. He said, Kol a Poshet Yod. Yod is like the Yiddish word for a Jew, Yid, right? Any Jew, called a Poshet Yod, any Jew who sticks out his hand, Hashem, help, right? Hashem will give him what he needs, right? I think it's a beautiful pshat. But whatever the story is, when it comes to the mitzvah of Shalach Monos, we're being given man, we're being given a present from heaven every single day. It's really every day. The parnasa, anyone here in business, anyone here ever pursue a contract and you find that the contract, the money that you had came from a different source? Did you ever see that, the way it happens? No, nobody saw that, right? Ellie? It happens. What it is Hashem sits every single day and gives out parnasa. It's Gemara in Avodah Zarah. Hashem gives out parnasa every day. Purim, since we've already read the Megillah at night, in the morning, we've duplicated the calling of the Megillah so that we entrench ourselves that Hashem is there for us, right? Then we come to find that Hashem is giving us, He's taking care of us every single day. Uv'chol yoim v'yoim Mordechai misalech. Every day, we can find the monos, the presence that Hashem gives us every day. Yeah, the Gemara says in Sanhedrin, there's 3 things come with Hesach Hadas. 3 things come when a person is not really cognizant of it. One is Mashiach. We don't know when Mashiach's coming. It's going to come Behesach Hadas when we're not aware of it. A windfall and a scorpion, right? Nobody goes out looking for a scorpion. It just comes, right? Nobody looks for that bang, that challenge. And we do get our windfalls, right? Reb Nosson explains all 3 of them are really the same concept, right? Hashem will give us the scorpions in life, right? If you ever hurt, if you ever feel hurt, know that it's Hashem who sent you that hurt, right? Even if you did it yourself, but Hashem really made it happen. And if Hashem made that happen, He'll make the windfall happen too. But you got to believe that salvation and Mashiach is there waiting for you. So what we have is we have the shalach monos, we have the understanding that Hashem provides every single day for whatever it is that we need, that we're expecting to have. That's the idea behind the shalach monos. The matonos lev yodim tzedakah, it's not just that we give. I mean, what's tzedakah really have to do with Purim, right? The fact is that tzedakah is the first step that every Jew should take whenever you have a problem, right? Because look at the Chumash, Parshas Re'eh, the mitzvah of tzedakah, right? If somebody needs money, posoyach tiftach es yodcha. Open, you should open your hand. Why the redundancy? Why? Right? And the answer is that tzedakah opens up all the other doors. Tzedakah is that power. Purim is there. We were given a reprieve. You know, you're standing on the gardum, you're standing on the latch, whatever the hatch, whatever it is, and the guy is about to pull the lever, and there you go, the noose is around your neck, pull the lever, but then you get a reprieve. So they put the hatch back up, and you get there, but you're still standing there with the noose around your neck. Tzedakah opens up all the other doors. We all feel tight, we all feel challenged. Tzedakah opens up the door. So the mitzvah on Purim, we've been given a reprieve. Hashem took us out from death to life, right? We have a new life coming, so let's open it up and let's make sure that the door stays open. Pasoach, open, you should open. The tzedakah happens. And then the last mitzvah of Purim is the Seudah. Well, on one level it's a rectification. The Jews indulged in the meal of Achashverosh. Now we can indulge in the same kind of meal, right, in Kedusha. It's a mitzvah to sit and eat and indulge. It's a mitzvah, right? Well, who doesn't want to indulge, right? And then we have the mitzvah of getting drunk at the Suda, right? What is this mitzvah of getting drunk, right? Because when we do something right, we're giving koyach to the malchus. Remember, the malchus, the control, the authority of Kedusha. If, God forbid, we do something wrong, we have given over power to the malchus of the other side. And that's why we have all the time, you get people all of a sudden out of the clear blue, they rise up against, and they rise up against the Jew, they rise up against the religion, whatever it may be. However, as we said in the very, very beginning, that the whole world depends on free choice. Right? We said that in the beginning, free choice. So there always has to be free choice. You can't really come to a stage where you have only choice of good and there's no more evil. Until Mashiach comes, it can't be that way. There is good and there is evil. And you have to choose what's right, what's wrong. So evil, as bad as it might be, has to be sustained. How is it sustained? Well, if we do something wrong, it's sustained in a powerful way. But mitzvah of Purim, getting drunk on Purim, is that we are saying Orah, or let's say Baruch Haman, and Orah the other way, right? Why do we have to come to that? Because at that point, if we drink enough, we're not full das, so that the wrong that we do is not considered a powerful wrong. It's a very weakened wrong, right? That will give power to the realm of evil to be sustained, while we, because of the mitzvah of drinking on Purim, give koyach to the malchus of Kedusha, and that's how we strengthen the Kedusha. Because we're in a constricted sense of intellect at that time, that's why we drink on Purim, and everything then goes l'chaim u'l'sholom for the power of kedusha. Okay, this is the idea, and therefore, because of all of this, the main mitzvah on Purim is to be b'simcha. Right? Always be happy, always rejoice. There are many, many little things that we have in life that we can always rejoice with. I was born a Jew, Baruch Hashem, I am a Jew, Baruch Hashem, I have children, I'm married, whatever it might be. Whatever the case is, there's always something to rejoice. Rabbi Nachman once said, it's a great mitzvah to be happy. Mitzvah gedola liyos b'simcha tomid, you probably have heard that already, right? One of the great Breslov Hasidim said, if Rabbi Nachman said it's a great mitzvah to be happy, then you have to believe that there's a reason to be happy. We all have reasons to be happy. So let's look forward to those reasons, or look backwards to the reasons and bring that joy forward. Reb Nosson of Breslov was known to say, if you don't feel happy and you want to be happy, then borrow it from a future simcha, right? You borrow money when you need it to hold you over. Borrow the simcha. I have no reason to be happy now, but let me be happy and let me internalize a little joy and let me be happy now. With this, Be'ez Hashem, we'll all merit to have a great Purim, very happy and joyous Purim, and we'll be zoichet to see the Yeshua, Amalek, ISIS, and all the other chevra should go the way of all Hamans, right? They should all be hung or buried, or it doesn't matter how, as long as they go, right? All the evil should disappear. We should all see the Baruch Mordechai, the greatness of Am Yisrael, the greatness of every single Jew, and we should be zoichet to see the coming of Mashiach. Amen.